Hello everyone, my name is Brian, and I'm a junior at the Middlesex County Academy for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. I know it's a really long name, I'm sorry you had to listen to all of that. But today we're going to be doing a continuation to the Introduction to Java course. What exactly are we learning today? Well, if you're too lazy to read all of this stuff, we are learning about operators. Now, the specific questions that we're going to be asking is, what is an operator in particular, and what is an operand? And then we'll be going over various types of operators. So first of all, what is an operator and what is an operand? Well, an operator is an operation that is performed on objects or quantities, while an operand is the object that is being operated on. I said the syllable oper a lot of times in that sentence. For example, if we have the expression 2 plus 5, the operator is the plus sign, while the operand is 2 and 5. The operands are being operated on by the operator. Hopefully that made some sense this time. Now we have binary versus unary operators. The prefix bi tells us that binary has something to do with two things. Binary operators are operators that take in specifically two operands. For example, we have the addition symbol, the subtraction symbol, the multiplication symbol, and division. These all take in two numbers. The prefix uni tells us that unary has something to do with one thing. Unary operators are operators that only take in one operand. For example, we have the not operator, the incremental, and the decremental operator. You probably haven't seen any of those three operators, so we'll be getting more into that as we progress through this slideshow. So first of all, we have arithmetic operators. Now, arithmetic is a very fancy way of saying math. That is literally it. So, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen most of these operators before: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. However, there is one other operator called a modulus that you've probably never seen before. Now, these are all binary operators, and we'll be learning about the modulus operator right about now. The modulus operator is a binary operator that takes in two objects, and it outputs the remainder when the first operand is divided by the second operand. For example, 8 divided by 5 is equal to 1 with a remainder of 3. So 8 modulus 5 gives you the remainder of the division, so it'll be 3. We have some special cases in arithmetic operation, and this has to do with the types of variables. If you're not familiar with the types of variables, I highly recommend that you go check the last video. If you divide an integer by another integer, for example, 3 divided by 4, you will only get an integer. The rest of the number will just be chopped off. So if you do the operation 3 divided by 4, the answer should be 0.75, but you'll actually get the number 0 as an output. This decimal chopping is known as truncation. Now that's a really fancy term, I like to call it decimal chopping, but it's known as truncation. If one of the values is a double, then the output will also be a double. So you can do something like 3 divided by 4.0. And since 4.0 is a double, the output will actually be 0.75. You can actually control the output of the operation by casting to a certain variable. For example, casting to an int or casting to a double. Now, that probably didn't make any sense, so we have some examples in the next slide. If we take 3.0 and divide it by 4, that's a double divided by an integer, we get a double, which is 0.75. If we take an integer and divide it by a double, there's still a double in the operation, so the output will be 0.75. Now, on the other hand, if we take an integer and divide it by another integer, it gets truncated, or as we like to say it here, decimal chopped. We get 0. If we cast it to a double and take 3 divided by 4, now these are two integers, but we're actually casting the output to a double, so the double will be 0.75. If we take an integer and take a double divided by an integer, if you take a double and divide it by an integer, you should get a double, but since you're casting it to an integer, the result will actually be the truncated value, which is 0. Next, we have relational operators. Pretty relatable. Here's a list of relational operators that we'll be going over today. Equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. I'm pretty sure that you know what the last 4 operators are, and I'm also pretty sure that you can infer what the first 2 are, but we're going to be going over these in detail. These are all binary operators, meaning that they take in 2 operands. Yeah! So these are being used in booleans. So if we have an integer variable a with a value of 6, we can make a Boolean variable x, which will be equal to a is greater than 5. Now mathematically, you look at this and you're like, this makes no sense. But this Boolean will actually be set to true, because we're checking if a is greater than 5. And we're saying, okay, a is 6, and 6 is greater than 5. So this is a true statement. Now on the other hand, if a had a value of 4, then this Boolean would be set to false, because a is not greater than 5, because a is 4. These operators only work on primitive data types, which are characters, integers, doubles, floats, and whatever else you can think of that's primitive. So next we have logical operators. They're pretty logical. That didn't work. Our list of logical operators is relatively small. We just have the not, the and the or operator. Now note that the not operator is actually a unary operator, while the and or operators are both binary. Now there are many other operators that fall into this category, but we only need to know these 3 for Java. These operators are used with Boolean operands. Only Boolean operands. Only Boolean The not operator just gives you the opposite of the incoming Boolean operand. The and operator gives you true if the first operand and the second operand are both true. Otherwise, it just gives false. The or operator gives you true if the first operand or the second operand is true. Otherwise, it will just give false. Now, in case you didn't catch that, here are a bunch of examples. So the not symbol is just the exclamation point. So not true is false, and not false is true. There's only one operand, and that operand comes after the not symbol. Next we have true and false. Now, unless it's true and true, unless both the operands are true, it will always give false. So true and false is false. False and true is false. Meanwhile, if you have true and true, you get true. The or symbol is these 2 weird vertical line thingies? I'm not exactly sure. True or false will give you true, since you only need one of the operands to be true for the output to be true. On the other hand, if we have false or false, neither of the operands are true, so it gives you false. False or true will give you true, because one of the operands is true. Here's a fun challenge for you. If you know math, you know that parentheses always come first. So, what is true and false or true? I'll give you a minute. Okay, your minute's over. First, we're going to evaluate false or true. Now, false or true is true, because one of the operands is true. So now what we have is true and true. True and true gives you true, since both of the operators are true. Okay, we're going to be moving on from Booleans, because saying true and false hurts my brain. Assignment operators. Our list of operators is literally just one. It's a simple assignment operator, and it's a binary operator. I didn't have enough words, so I just put a picture of a cat in here. I don't really know why I put a cat in here, but just enjoy it. These are This operator is used for simple assignment. I'm pretty sure you've seen some examples in the last video, which was hosted by Dev. We can see integer x is equal to 5, or double cat is equal to 0.5. So we're basically initializing variables using the assignment operator. You can actually use chaining to assign statements. We're going to get into declaration versus initialization at one point. So in the first line here, we're declaring integer next, previous, and sum, and we can actually initialize all of these using the assignment operator at the same time. So if we say next equals previous equals sum equals 0, we're setting all of these variables to 0. Finally, we have the incremental and decremental operators. Again, these are just fancy words. In other words, it just means increase and decrease, high and low, up and down. These are all unary operators, and they'll be used in prefix and postfix. Now, we're going to get into all of that weird stuff when we do loops, so you don't have to worry about what they do for now. All you have to know is that they exist. So here's our list of operations, or our order of operations. I'm pretty sure you've heard that term in math before. So in the first precedence, or the operator that comes first, we have the not, the increment, and the decrement operators. Then we have multiplication, division, and the modulus. Then we have addition and subtraction. And the fourth and fifth precedents are both relational operators. Then we have the and operator, the or operator, and then last but not least, the assignment operator. So that's all we're going to be covering for today. In the next video, we're going to go more into if statements, and we'll be learning a little bit more about Boolean logic. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you learned something out of this, and I hope you have a good day. That's it. See ya.